Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel to this new setting because as you know in summer it's super hot here, aircon in the room, can't complain, can't beat, can't argue that. Today I am going to be talking about The Condemned, which is book one in the Ages of Eshéa, pronunciation unknown, by American Indy author Robert Bone. Now, full disclaimer, it was Robert himself who approached me and sent me a free copy of his book to review, which you can find in Amazon. Now, I'm a little bit unsure as to the actual length of the book because on the Kindle it was just 8 hours long, so I suspect it's a fairly long book. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. What it is just a fantasy, classic fantasy, very classic fantasy book. It gave me Elric vibes, so if you're looking for that kind of thing, I think you'll find it here. It's a bit more plot than character heavy. There are a lot of fantastical locations. There is a reasonable amount of world building going on and the myth and lore of the world where things take place. And basically we start up with a preamble where the two gods, or the two main gods of this world, that vie for sort of control and influence of the world. There's a goddess of creation and there is a god of sort of chaos and corruption type thing. So they're regularly arguing and fighting, and they sort of put together, or they create, or they affect this person who goes around by the name of Baldane. So he wakes up and he finds he's been turned into a skeleton. He's just a walking skeleton with a cursed touch. Everything he touches, he kills. And out he goes, and away he goes to try to recover his lost humanity. Along the way, we sort of collect a group of heroes, a group of warriors that help him go on his quest. And we sort of go on a slight sort of quest to final battle sort of thing. So it's a sort of fairly classical, relatively tropey, but with this added interest of the main character. That I thought that was a fairly new idea, fairly unique. Now, there's a couple of things to be said here. Unfortunately, and I understand and I appreciate the difficulties of getting published or self-publishing because I've done it myself. The book that is in need of an editing process. I know that Robert has done it himself, but sometimes you need to go the extra mile. When I used to write, before my reincarnation as a dad, I used to write, and I wrote 3-4 books, but I actually paid an editor to correct the spelling, grammar, punctuation, some of those things, which I know is expensive, but the book needs it. Sometimes it doesn't. You need a fresh pair of eyes to look at your work, or maybe you need to leave it in the drawer and come back to it years later. But even so, I don't know about Robert's background, but certainly mine, I am not a English language major. I need help with that sort of thing. So it kind of suffers from that. Also, but I think this is down to, I received the Word document, I think, or the PDF, which I had to then translate into my Kindle. Some of the shifts in POV sort of don't quite happen. You just go to the next line and then you realize that you are looking at things from a different character's perspective, and that sort of didn't quite help them. But maybe in the actual official Kindle version that you can purchase on Amazon, those things get ironed out and get sorted. All in all, I think it was an interesting idea, and I've got by no means any authority or any gravitas to give advice, but it looks like this book is going to be the first of 2, 3, 4 book series. I don't know. Robert mentions that in the epilogue of the book I got sent, and clearly, but the way the book finishes, there is more to come. But I think if I was a first-time author, which I guess I've been, I suppose, but I would try my first book to work as a standalone, even if it was meant to be part of an ongoing series. I would try, because if you start with a 4, 5, 3, whatever random numbers book series, it is difficult to. It has to be a really good book to rope in a new audience and ask them to come on this journey with you. So maybe perhaps try to get the first book to work as a standalone, just in case things don't pan out for you later. Or maybe start with a novella that serves as background for later for your bigger book and see what kind of reaction you get from that novella. I think, so a couple of examples. Scott Lynch with The Gentleman Bastards, that first book, The Lies of Locke Lamora, it is the first book in a 7-book series or whatever, however long it's going to be, but it works exceptionally well as a standalone. You can read that and forget about the rest and enjoy it. I don't particularly like the guy, but Daniel Green, big booktuber there, he started with a novella and then he's written a second one and I don't know anymore what he's doing, but that sort of, just to throw that hook and rope people in, I think that's a better way to do it. But everyone chooses their own path, everyone goes on about how they want to do things in that way. So, like I said, they're not, the characters aren't particularly well fleshed out, they're not particularly exciting, they're not particularly nuanced. It seemed a little bit like kind of slightly Dungeons and Dragonish, sort of, going from one quest to the next to sort of fighting bigger bosses as you go on. So, like I said, Elric vibes. Possibly it would have benefited from being a shorter book. I seem to be saying that a lot recently on every review, but I think in this particular case, for sure. And obviously, this space, whatever it is open for conversation. In case Robert wants to have a discussion about it, I'm more than happy to do so. I will also leave a link to his channel in the description below. And this is all I had for today. As usual, everyone, thank you ever so much for watching. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Apparently there's going to be an electrical thunderstorm later today, so we'll see how that goes. Please take loads and loads of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!